Hey there, good morning, everybody. Good morning. Oh, my goodness, it's been a few days since I've done a conscious coffee, and I almost debated, I was debating on even doing conscious coffee this morning, because here's a reality. I was kind of feeling into it, and I just feel like really like I've got a million and one things that I need to do. I got all this stuff going on, and I'm like, do I have time to do a conscious coffee? And the reality is, I do have time. I do have time to do a conscious coffee and jump on here and say hey to everybody. And just the last 90 days for sure, but the last few days, the lesson of really truly feeling into what is needed to happen for oneself has been a major lesson for myself. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I am going to share this lesson with everybody else, because I think that it is a lesson that we all can learn a little, that we need to hear and that we all can learn from. So feeling into it is what I've titled this conscious coffee. And you know, I was driving this morning. I was out actually getting a Starbucks, and I was just having all of these overwhelming, I was overthinking everything, completely overthinking everything, everywhere from things that need to happen with family life, things that need to happen with lovers, things that need to happen in my personal, life, as far as taking care of body and mind and spirit. And then of course there is business stuff, right? There's always money and abundance thinking. And I am starting a new business as well. So I'm going to be a proud owner of two businesses pretty soon. So I've been overthinking probably way too much on that stuff too. And here's the thing. Notice that I'm saying overthinking, that I'm thinking. Well, yeah, we have to think. We have to plan things out. We have to have a structured plan to get to our goals. But that structured plan needs to come from inspired thought, not just thinking about, not just forcing things to happen. It truly is about really feeling into a situation. Are you a yes or are you a no? For instance, I have some appointments coming up today and tomorrow and the next day, and some of them, as I was driving this morning, I'm out there and I'm sitting in, I got stuck in some really bad traffic, which is not normal for me because I'm normally not out in the traffic. But Addison, she says, oh, Virgo overthink. Nah, yeah, fellow Virgo, sure. But as I was sitting there in traffic overthinking things, I was thinking about my week. I was thinking about the things that I want to do versus the things that I feel like I have to do. The people that I want to be around versus the people that I'm feeling like I need to be around, where my commitments are, where my forced commitments are, and where my commitments of desire are as well. Now, we do have like this waver between the two that we have to maintain, because we can't always be in situations that we are a fuck yes to. Unfortunately, that is reality. That is the truth. Situations that we're not a fuck yes to, they come into our life so that we know, hey, I'm really not enjoying this. But it is when you get, and especially if you're in shoes like mine, where you can actually make certain choices, you're not dependent on having to say yes to somebody. You can actually go, I'm really a no to that. And there's plenty of times that all of us have this. Relationship is, of course, the biggest area that this shows up, where we're really just like, I'm just not feeling that. And for me, that can be right down to taking on a new client. And I might be, yes, I want to take on a new client. Yes, I need a new client. Yes, I said yes to this. And then something comes up and it goes astray, where all of a sudden I'm feeling like this just is not a good idea. What I've discovered in situations like that is that when I really push it to happen, and I get caught in the responsibility of making it happen and sticking to my word on things, normally somebody's going to get disappointed. Somebody's going to get emotionally hurt. Somebody's going to get, something is just going to just not happen well in that scenario. So if you lean into feeling that thing that we don't want to do, that thing that we feel so uncomfortable about, a thing that we don't want to give any credit to, right? That's just your feelings. Get over your feelings. Don't let your feelings control you. Well, if those feelings are a guidance system in order to get you from here to where you want to be. So your spirit knows where it wants you physically to go, where it wants you to be. But what we do is, like me in the car, overthink. We're thinking about it, and we're thinking about it, and we're like plotting, and we're scheming, and we're putting together our to-do list, and we're like, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to make this happen. There's got to be a way to make it happen. And I found some things, because there's things that I really want to do this weekend that I'm not right now able to do. And I was driving in the car, and I'm just like, there's got to be a creative way, right? There's got to be a creative way of making this shit happen. So I was starting to try to think creative ways. Well, there's a challenge in the thinking, trying to force yourself to think creative ways. When we try to force creativity, much like if we try to force turn on, okay, because creativity is a form of turn on. So you can't force yourself to be attracted to someone. You can't force yourself to be turned on to an experience. You can't force yourself to really want to eat a certain food when you really don't want to eat that food. You cannot force yourself into these things, right? You can't walk up to a house and say, I want to buy this house, when you look at the house and you're like, fuck, no, I hate that house, right? You walk onto a car dealership and they're like, this is the car that you have to have. This is the only one. You know you really want it. No, you're not. You just cannot force yourself into certain things. Well, you can't force yourself into creativity either. You cannot force yourself into divine inspiration. Those are things that we have to surrender to. Those are things that we have to just open up and let come into us. And when we get that inspired thought, when we get that creative flow coming through us, then is the time to act on it. Hey, good morning, David. I should probably say hello to a couple people, huh? I saw a few people popping on here. Morning, Danny. Addison, I already said hi to you, sort of, kind of. Morning, Patrick. AJ, John. Yeah, if you try to force yourself into creativity or divine inspiration or something, it's just going to just stall out on you. It is going to make it absolutely impossible for you to really get that clarity that you need. Yesterday I wrote an article called Clarity in Space, and clarity in space is a very, very big part of being able to feel into things. When we need that space to create, and what I mean by space is like true space, there needs to be a distance. There almost needs to be, it's like asking for meditation. You need to take yourself into a space where you can just have that stillness. You can just have that silence. There is no interruptions. There is nothing that is trying to reach out and connect with you. There is nothing that is pulling on you in different ways. To be able to have that creative energy, to be able to have that divine inspiration come through, you have to be able to open up the channel, access that channel, but it's only going to come through when you stop all the crazy overthinking, like I was doing while I was getting a Starbucks this morning. Overthinking. Well, there was no room for creativity. There was no room for this, any good shit to come in, because what did the overthinking do? Originally, it started with, I'm going to figure out a way to do yada, 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 right? These are the things that I want to accomplish. These are the things that I want to do. Here's where I want to go, da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, I'm possibility thinking. And I told myself that. I'm possibility thinking here. I'm creative thinking. Like, I'm going to come up with a great plan. And it's just going to happen. It's just going to happen. So I rounded the corner and got stuck in another line of traffic. And I sat there, and then I sat in the Starbucks line, and I'm just sitting there. And I was reading through some different things, and my brain is just spinning. I caught myself in that overthinking mode. And what I realized in that moment was all creativity ceased, because I was trying to force something, because I was trying to make it happen. I was pushing on it so hard that the creativity, that inspiration, that divine inspiration that I could have chosen to open up to, had I taken my focus off of trying to make something happen, and instead just opening up and surrendering to maybe stillness, maybe listening to just some good music that would have taken my mind off into a different direction and allowed my mind to kind of just do this, right? Because in this space right here, when we get into that stillness, when we get into that space, that's where clarity comes in. Clarity will never come in when we're completely being bogged down by all the thoughts, by all the chaos, by all the interactions. It does not come in. It keeps you in this point of frustration. And by the time I pulled into my driveway and somebody texted me and said, "Is everything okay?" And number one, I'm not a person that likes that statement, but this person doesn't know that I don't like that statement. So it doesn't much matter. I let that go. And I just was like, that's really random that I'm getting this text right now in this moment, because as I pulled into my garage, I was feeling frustration. I was feeling like, just completely, even though I had really no reason for the frustration, I felt all this frustration around different things going on in my world. And I was just like, oh, I just need some fucking space. That's what I was thinking. And I was like, I just need space. I just need clarity, because I know that I need to be able to have that clarity, right? But this text message, random text message, "Are you okay?" And I texted back as soon as I got parked. I texted back and I was like, "Why are you asking me this right now?" And that's random. That's random. Why are you why did you decide to text me this in this moment right here? And I got back a little response of just like, I don't know, I just had a feeling come through. I felt like something was off with you. Okay. I'm like, well, I just pulled in, and so I explained. I was like, I just pulled into my garage, went out for coffee, did this, did that, and here's what's kind of going on. So I felt that need to kind of open up so that I could access what was really truly happening inside. And I used this friend of mine to kind of access that a little bit and allow that channel to open. And then, of course, the realization again came to me of like, girl, you are overthinking your shit way too much. You just need to drop that. You need to drop it. Let it go. Let it go and open up. But where in life do we not overthink, right? Where in life do we not overthink? I've had so many conversations over the last 3-4 days with different people in my life, from clients to people that I care about, to lovers, children, friends, all these different things, events that are being planned. And there just is this feeling of this going on and everybody trying to hold on and basically manhandle the situation to get a desired outcome. And that's just not a good, healthy scenario. It isn't. I know that. I'm pretty sure that every one of those people know it as well. But there is definitely an energy that is kind of right now going, hey, I'm going to try to force this to happen. But the forcing only steals the breath from things and only makes it wither and die. And that causes that frustration. It causes anxiety. It causes nervousness. It causes chaos. It causes depression. Anger even can rise up from it. So if you're feeling any of those, if you're sitting here on the 21st, 22nd day of January into the year, we are already a whole month almost. And I'm pretty sure that the majority of people out there, I know for myself especially, that I have not necessarily met those expectations that I had for the first 3 weeks of the year. Now, I've had some beautiful events happen, nothing to complain about really, but where I wanted to be on today's date versus where I'm at, I'm not quite there. And if you look back at your last 3 weeks and the things that you wanted to get accomplished, are you letting up on those things? Or are you just going, fuck it already? Like, whatever, this is just going to be another year. I'm just not going to bother. It's always this way. I can't ever get ahead. I can't ever do this. I can't ever do that. Do you have that I can't coming in? Or are you going, I'm going to force this to happen. I'm going to make sure that this happens. And you're like really, really sticking your head down and you're trying to bulldoze through something, because that's not going to get you anywhere either. There's this beautiful dance between being determined and having the focus to drive it forward, but at the same time open up in grace, in love, and letting things just flow through you. So it's like having those skills to be able to say, here's the 1, 2, 3s that need to get accomplished. Here's where I'm going. Here's what's going to happen. Now I'm going to, guess what? Feel into the situations. I'm going to ask for the things that I need. I'm going to create space in my life to do the things that I need to do for self, For self, not for that person, not for that person, not for the house, not for the work, not for any of it, but for self. And when you really step in and you start to feel into yourself and you go, does this feel good? Does that feel good? Does it not feel good? Why does it not feel good? Is it a feeling of fear? Is it a feeling of anxiety? Is it a feeling of overwhelm? Those things are all there saying, hey, this is a space for you to grow into. This is where you can grow. This is where you can move forward. Here's all these blessings waiting for you, but you have to open up to them because you're still blocking them off. You're holding yourself so tight, and that's why you're feeling the anxiety, the fear, the overwhelm. Now, if it really truly just makes you kind of sick in your gut and you feel really tension in your body and there's just this holding and everything inside of you is trying to like hitting the brakes saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Those are the things that you really have to pay attention to. And sometimes we get ourselves into shoes where it's like, well, but I feel like I can't say no. I feel like I can't say no, right? I can't say no to that. I can't say no to that. I financially need help there. I want that relationship over there. I need help over here. I need this. I need that. And so we start to grab out at different things that are not really in alignment to us. And our bodies, our emotions will tell us that they're not in alignment to us by these feelings that we are having. But what do? We then go, nope. I'm going to push through. I'm going to push through. Ignore the feelings. We're not going to pay any attention. You know what? That's just fear. That's just this. That's just that. I'm going to push. I'm going to push. I'm going to push. I'm going to push. Or we start to overthink it, overanalyze it. And then we're still pushing while we're overanalyzing. And you just have to remember that, on those moments that if you just pause, hit the fucking pause button. I always talk about like I see the Staples big red button when I say pause button, and like just hit that button and just take a break. Get yourself in some sort of vacation in holiday mode, right? I mean, I was actually contemplating jumping on a plane just while driving this morning. I was like, maybe I should get on a plane and just go someplace. I was at a moment where I was just like, yeah, maybe that's what I should do. Last minute plane out of here and go take 2 days and sit on a beach someplace. And sometimes that's exactly what is required, is for you to do something drastic like that, to just go, just take a moment. But you can create space. You can create space just in your everyday. It doesn't have to be humongous bits of space. For you to be able to feel into something, all you really need is 15 minutes, just 15 minutes of stillness, 15 minutes of meditation time, 15 minutes of silence, 15 minutes of your phone being turned off, your computer being turned off, you're away from electronics, you're away from somebody yipping and yapping at you about different things. Ask for that. See if that can help you gain clarity. If that's not enough, then give yourself an at-home sabbatical where you just completely take some vacation time off from work. Give yourself a solid full 3 days. I know that yesterday was a holiday for a lot of people with Martin Luther King Day and stuff, but maybe you need more. Maybe you need just a whole day of rest. Maybe you just need to just completely chill and not do anything. And in that not doing of anything, guess what? You'll probably get a hell of a lot accomplished, because beautiful, inspired thoughts and beautiful, creative opportunities can actually come to you when you open up, when you allow the space for them to actually manifest, for them to come in. If you surrender to them. Otherwise, you can just keep down that crazy thought pattern. You can just keep spinning and just doing kind of like what I was doing in the car today, just spin, thinking about this, thinking about that, looking at all the things that you haven't done right, looking at all the things that you need to still do, putting together that 1,000 to-do list, doing all these different things that, really are not getting you anywhere, that are only causing you to shut down, grip a hold of everything, and maybe grab a hold of things that you feel like you need to for your dear life. But that's not the truth. That's not the truth. You have every single thing that you need right within your own being. You don't need to access all these other things. It's not there for you to like grab a hold of, because in that grabbing hold of, it's kind of like, when somebody's drowning, if you're not, you want to be careful of the person that's drowning, right? Because they'll tend to take down everybody around them because they're trying to save themselves. And that's what we do energetically when we start to overthink things and we feel over it, all this anxiety, this frustration, depression, a loss feeling that goes off inside of us. And when we start to do that, we actually start to grab a hold of anything around us, our friends, our family, you know, the people that we care about. It just kind of crumbles down and around. And what we don't realize is that we're taking those people down with us, which causes not a great feeling in relationship, no matter what the relationship is, right? So it's better in those moments to hit the pause button and say, all right, I need a little bit of space. I need a little bit of this. I need a little bit of that. I know this might feel a little bit greedy to other people. Oh, well, fuck it. Get greedy with yourself. Allow yourself to ask for that time. Allow yourself to ask for that space. Hold true to it. Go do what you need to do, which is clear, so that you can have clarity, so that you can find your love, so that you can find your heart again and really get back on tap with who you are, the direction that you're going, and surrender to all the beautiful blessings that are around you, because there are massive numbers of blessings around each and every one of us. It's just a matter of if we're really able to hold those blessings, open up to them, or not. So there's the thought of today. Feeling into it. Tap into your feelings. Don't be afraid to tap into your feelings. They really are a beautiful guidance system. They will tell you exactly if you are on the path that you need to be, or if you are completely derailed. Okay? And when you're derailed, just feel into it. Just keep feeling and feeling and feeling until you come back to the path that is of least resistance, which is of love, which is of support, and will get you exactly where you want to be. Okay, guys, let me see. Announcements. Oh, how can I forget this? I am going to be doing an announcement here in just a little bit on another live, but I'll let you guys in on it first. And the announcement is that I am doing a very last minute, very spontaneous, Not Your Average Joe training this Saturday on Facebook Live. So guys, if you want to not allow average into your bedroom, if you want to make sure that your lady love is very, very pleased, you want to learn about female sexuality, you want to learn about tantric practices, you want to learn about tantric connection, you want to learn about how to really, really stoke her fire, you want to get all in there, well, guess what? The best way to do it is to learn about it, right? And I know you're probably really, really great in bed, and you probably have all the answers, and this is not your first rodeo, and you understand women's bodies completely, and you know that us women can have like thousands of orgasms, and that it takes us all this time to actually get ready for love making, and that there's all these multiple different kinds of orgasms that we have, and you fully understand exactly how to access a woman's heart and how to really tap into her heart and her mind and her soul, and it's not just about the physical connection. I know that you understand all that, and you're probably very, very wise about all the tantric skills too. But if you're one of those rare guys out there that doesn't really actually know all that stuff, then click on the link. Addison has just shared the link here to Not Your Average Joe, where I share with you so much content. This is quite a few hours worth of training. It's got a whole bunch of downloads, beautiful PDF and stuff. And I'm going to be doing another live training on Saturday, this coming Saturday at noon Central Time, where you're going to get to interact, ask me those questions in a private group scenario here on Facebook for that training. So guys, if you want to learn, if you want to get the answers, I mean, it might be a little bit helpful. It's not a bad class. I've been told that it's pretty fucking awesome, actually. So there's a ton of content there. Go click on the link, sign up, and come Saturday to that class here live on Facebook. As always, stop existing, start living, and I will catch you on another Conscious Coffee tomorrow. Bye, guys.